Test pattern, or to go. Let's call this meeting to order at 7:02. The Pownal Planning Commission, I believe the date is October 18th, 2016. Welcome, everyone. If we could take a look at the agenda for the evening, which Julie was kind enough to send out earlier, so we should all have had a pretty good idea as to what was on the agenda for this evening, and I would entertain a motion to approve this agenda of October 18th, 2016. Do I have a second? Any further discussion or any other items? I will just report on my meeting with the Select Board, which some of you may have seen on CAT TV, under Town Plan Work. So if there are no other additions, subtractions, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, let's take a look at the special meeting minutes of September 27th, which I think you all also had an early copy of.
I didn't get those.
You
I
didn't have-
tried to send,
His attachments didn't go through for some reason.
I never got the email.
Hmm.
Much less the attachment. Only way I knew there were attachments was because,
When I responded.
right,
I had to go in, I think, and go back to my other email to send Shannon and Ron's. That wonderful new email is something, let me just
Well, you know
telling
what?
you.
I'll look again, but I think you were addressed in it, and why it didn't go through, that's one of those
Oh, I checked
stranger than fiction things.
I check my spam filter every day, so.
So it didn't
If
get
it got caught in
spammed.
there.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember I looked when you said you didn't get it. I went back to her email and just clicked on
Yeah.
5 others.
And I was
you're-
there.
Yeah,
Oh,
at the King
minutes
Hibbert.
in here.
Okay.
So, all right. I don't know if we need a moment or two
I
just
want to
to.
take a look at it.
It's a couple pages. We have time.
Will you sign these older ones for me,
Yeah.
please?
Was I there? Was I, okay, yeah, work session. Yes, I was there. I remember.
I don't know, I just need your signature.
I was looking at the 27th, the meeting of the 27th, but on the second page at the bottom of the town plan work,
Mm-hmm.
I had a suggestion that says here, and I don't know what that was.
The suggestion was you and I were speaking about the bike path, and
Oh,
I think that came out, your suggestion to, and then you did some
And-
work
and-
on
and
it
I
and
wrote
sent
a
it to
whole
me,
thing, right,
and we have to discuss tonight under town plan work, where to insert that.
okay,
That's
so that's what that, okay.
Right, we're not, and there should have been copies in the last packets of Rick's email to me last time we met.
I don't think there was, but I think there was a copy of the new plan up to date, and I don't know if that was inclusive of that or not. It was not.
No, we haven't incorporated that in.
Okay.
No.
I wasn't at the last meeting.
Oh, that's
so-
right. That's right.
So,
Some of them took them home because,
I'll move we accept the minutes from the regular
Second?
meeting held on
Okay.
September 27th.
we have a motion, we have a second. Yes, thank you. Any further discussion on those minutes? If none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, let's take a look at the other
Rick
set of,
abstained.
I abstained. Yeah.
right. And, so this is the work session that we're talking about now. We could take a quick look at those.
I think Julie accurately has captured the spirit of the meeting. And I will move that we adopt the minutes of the work session of Tuesday, October 4,
Second?
as presented.
Second.
Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'll abstain.
Mike, will you sign these ones?
I'll do it.
This is a multitasking meeting.
We're getting her done. Sorry, Sid.
I have a comment on the meeting, last meeting,
Okay.
and I don't see it in the minutes, but, and it may not need to be, but something that I thought was really interesting about the last meeting when Mike was here, Mike Bratcher,
Patrick.
right.
Not Thatcher.
Thatcher.
Right, that's the other guy,
Not Thatcher.
without the chainsaw. Right. He's the guy without the chainsaw. Right. Okay.
Where's this guy?
Can you see him?
I'm here all week.
Okay, so I thought something that was interesting when it was brought up to them about the possibility of creating a cultural corridor that goes from the Berkshires through up to Bennington, and the bike lanes and the entranceway to Vermont and all that. He was very positive about that. In fact, he was talking about the fact that that could lead to, if we have it in the plan and stated as such, that could lead for possible grants, very likely, if they see that. And that, mentioning the new hospital satellite as being, having faith in the area, he thought that was a big selling point as well, because it's already kind of started. So I'm referencing that because I think that was a big turning point in some ways, and I think that's something for us to hang our hat on. So,
So do you want to move to amend the minutes to include
well,
something about
what do you
that?
suggest then? I mean, I think those are points worthy of mention, but I don't know if it needs to be mentioned in the minutes or not.
Well, there's no record of it if it isn't mentioned in the minutes, so I think you ought to move to amend the minutes to include,
What you just said.
What I just said, okay.
but I'm not sure she caught
No,
that.
no, I'm sure not.
Well, and I think he was thinking out loud there for a minute
He
anyway,
was.
so.
And another thing that he said was that goes hand in hand with the village designation. That if we
Yes.
get that, then
Yes.
the money will rain down.
Well, he was so positive, I was going, are you kidding?
Flow south. He's a
Right,
positive
right.
guy. And he will raid down.
Yeah.
In our
Like a
lifetime.
layout.
Right.
So,
You want to,
Oh, okay.
let's see how we might,
I know, because
add up.
it's so intangible.
You might, Mike referenced this, right? So you want to start by just encapsulating what Mike referenced, those
Mike
bullets.
Batcher referenced our desire to create a cultural corridor between Bennington and the Berkshires, i.e. Williamstown, North Adams, which is already has many conversations from both ends. And that because we've already referenced the cultural, we have the cultural paragraph in there, that we, as a result of that, and talking about this corridor and this way of thinking, that we would be due potentially for grants that would address that, if we in fact have this as a desire and a plan in our town plan.
coupled with a village designation.
Coupled with the village designation.
Has,
We'll give you a minute.
Yeah, and I'm not, there's probably
Catch
two
up.
or three, probably two more sentences, but,
okay, well,
yeah.
she's ready for two more
Okay,
sentences.
so, based upon the establishment of the new hospital satellite, which is to be their model for their satellites around the state, around actually the region, that figures well with the buildup of Pownal, and referencing the fact that it would kind of clean things up and showing that people already have faith in investing here. Lastly, there's a movement going on through New England from Connecticut, connecting Norwalk, Connecticut to Montreal via Route 7 and bike lanes that would pass through here. That is the Western New England Gateway project. And I gave Mike and his assistant the paperwork on that I saw in iBerkshires. So with all those things, that there could be some visibility and some dollars potentially coming our way through different programs. Is that thoroughly confused?
I'll second your motion to
Well-
amend.
We had already passed the prior one, so this would, so technically,
You want to undo the prior one?
I believe we need a motion to undo the prior.
How
And
about,
motion to
how about if
replace
how about if his motion is to amend the minutes as previously adopted?
Perfect. That's a perfect motion. Thank you, Rick.
And like you said,
And what he just said, I'll look for a second for that.
He's got it.
Second right here. Any more discussion on that? Or Julie, do you need clarification on any of Rick's?
No.
Thank you for that, by the way. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Outstanding. Yeah, I'm sorry I missed that meeting.
It was good.
yeah, I left here saying, wow, yeah.
It seemed
Well,
positive.
They
Yeah.
got their act together. I've not met Catherine, is that her name?
Briars.
I've not met her yet.
She seemed really on the ball.
She
Yeah,
was.
We're only a month in.
Yeah, I
I was
spoke
gonna
very
say,
highly of her.
with that bright light of the new
Enthusi-
job and
enthusiasm.
enthusiasm, it's
Yeah.
great to see.
Youth.
It's kind of reminded you of me as I entered these meetings.
That's right.
You thought it was you first.
Okay.
Good here.
Having said that, Julie, or Madam Justice, is that what you should be referred to from now on? What,
Madam Secretary.
what's up with the mail?
Depends
Well,
on
at the
what side
DRB,
I'm
Madam
at.
Justice,
Excuse me.
judicial.
We have from the State of Vermont Department of Environmental Conservation, wastewater system and potable water supply for Teresa Lilly at 1198 South Stream Road. Then Town of Williamstown Zoning Board of Appeal decision notice for, that was September 15th for 160 Water LLC and 180 Water LLC. Which
Water
was
Street.
a village business wellhead overlay for the Cable Mills redevelopment overlay.
That's about Cable Mills. I want to find out more about this.
It's pricey.
Are they selling?
You
Are
can,
they-
This is in
you can go
Williamstown.
see, you
In
can go see a
Williamstown,
local
like a
realtor
lot,
and
and
hear all you want to hear about it.
Sure.
It's
I
fully
don't wanna
booked,
know.
from what I hear.
I was gonna
Is
say
it?
it's full.
Wow.
A couple of people I talked to have gone.
Then I have the VLCT News, October 2016, which has a couple interesting things. There's the open meeting law with social media. I think I emailed you guys. So I made copies for the DRB.
We build 2 families now on that site somewhere, as opposed to just the mills. It's the second phase of the project. Interesting.
Yeah.
How is the Cable Mills project relating here? That's what I.
By Massachusetts statute, the zoning board of any town has to send notices of its decisions to abutting towns, whether
Okay.
they're in Massachusetts or not.
Okay.
So we get all the Williamstown stuff.
Okay.
But
That
it's not
makes sense.
reciprocal.
It's not reciprocal.
No.
There's no such Vermont law.
We have included them in on certain issues from time to time,
Yes.
but I think it's at our discretion.
When did this go?
Right.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Did the selectmen, oh, you're gonna give us a report.
In a sentence, in a word, yes, they did.
Okay.
Any other, that's it?
That's it.
All right, we'll hear from public now. Okay. We'll hear from our guest now. Other business, the ZA monthly log. I don't know if Nelson, they copied everybody on tonight's meeting, but he is representing the school district at an Act 46 meeting in Bennington.
K-9 Club.
And felt that being part of the school board, he should be there versus here, and sends his apologies. I also found out that he was quite sick for several weeks, like a pneumonia type thing. Which I didn't know. Glad he recovered in time to be at that select board meeting the other night. It's very supportive. So, just that's it for Nelson. Did he give you a log review with us, or we're doing that once a month now?
No, I think we're doing it once every couple months.
Every
aren't
couple
we?
of months.
I don't know, I can't keep track of it. I just get it when I get it.
Did we ask him, we asked him in a letter to,
Yes, didn't you read it last time? You read it last month.
Yeah.
Yes, it was
Okay.
not typed, no.
oh, no, I remember that.
No.
That part about being typed and prepared.
Yes.
I'm sure when he reads this or listens to this, he's
When he
going to
watches
be
it.
laughing at it when he watches this. Okay, then let's move on to the town plan work. I will tell you that I attended last Thursday's meeting. There were 4 select board members there: Nelson, Ronnie, Sue, and Jason were all there. I gave them a rundown, just a history of where we've been, what some of our obstacles have been, brought them up to speed on the 2014 grant, and then the refusal of the end of 15 grant, and the opportunity we have with the BCRC, and the need we have for their insight, professionalism, etc. And they were very supportive. That's all they needed to hear. Nelson made a motion that they reallocate, being a new select board, that $5,000 that carried over. And Ronnie signed the BCRC contract there, and I assume Linda has it in the mail already, probably the next day. So that was a piece of cake. They were very supportive of it and thanked me and everybody for the fine job we're doing. So I was happy.
Cool.
So Mike and the BCRC are officially on board. I would assume they have it and are officially on board. I think they've started acting in that capacity already. I have not contacted them yet, except sent them an email telling them that we were in, or that they were in. So that's my update. Now, was there any work done at the last work session, or was it mostly how to coordinate with BCRC? I didn't,
It was a lateral.
it was
Back and forth.
not a forward pass, but a lateral.
Don't follow
So,
And they had done their homework. I mean, they had reviewed, well,
They
not entirely.
looked
but
at it
just
well
in a
enough to have
cursory
some
way.
comments on
Yeah.
it,
well, we had gotten
which
them,
they presented to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
gotten them a lot of information. Oh, yeah, this is my copy of what they.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I said this is reiterated in Julie's minutes, so. Well, can we talk about it for a minute? One thing jumped out at me about, to shorten the document.
That's fine, me too.
How, well, I'm clearly in favor of it. How do we do that? And like sections that we already did, that we had a professional planning group approve and help us with. I hope they don't want us to go back and chop those
Like, I don't
out.
think we're gonna do it.
it. No.
No.
They-
Actually, what he was mainly talking about was, each section was written by someone different, right? And so many of them have the same opening, which is Pownal is in a beautiful scenic valley. And
Clean that part of it up, yeah.
we really don't need that to be
A lot of
restated.
redundancies.
Right.
So I think that's the piece that but it sounded like that was something they would do, right? I think
That's what
so.
they are gonna do.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
And they propose to do
They're
it
gonna make it flow.
en masse. They're not gonna do it chapter by chapter or line by line. They're gonna do it, then they're gonna meet with us. But they're not gonna do a chapter and come see us, talk about the chapter, and then go
That's the
back
way
and
to
do
do
another
it.
chapter.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be done all at once. And I thought that was a very good idea.
because ours is going to be the model.
That's what she said. Yeah.
The model
Oh,
plan.
she really was enthusiastic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
hey, why not?
That's good.
But I did
Right.
ask if all of the work that Landworks did and the amount of money that we paid for them, that I hope that their work didn't have to
Would
be
survive.
edited too bad.
We don't have any indication that needs editing in those
According to
terms.
them, yeah, they have to
In those
have.
4 sections.
No, the whole thing that we sent them so far, they said needed.
But Landworks only worked on 4 sections.
Right.
And so they didn't single out a section on Landworks and say,
They want to
we're
look
gonna
at
have
it
to
as a
really
whole
go over that.
document.
Yeah.
Because I've gone over those with Mike in the past, and he has seen those for the past 6 or 8 months. And he didn't indicate, if anything, minor tweaks, maybe based on some new development from Montpelier. but he didn't indicate anything, anything there, so. So
What
good,
was
so that
the
was,
act that they were talking about? There was an act that we had to.
well, Act
was it one-
46,
Energy.
right? is-
No.
No.
It was,
No,
I
it
was
was
it
an Energy Act,
167
248
or
or
something? No, it wasn't. It was a different one.
Well, see, there have been changes in 248 already with
Right.
party status. I
I
don't
think
know
it's
if
like
we mentioned that in our.
167 or something.
Right.
Is it
So
that
it
where,
has a new number now,
where
doesn't it?
solar and stuff would be cited?
Probably does.
Is
I
it
think
that
so.
one?
not-
I
Yeah.
think that had to do with the solar and stuff.
Citing.
that we would have
right?
more
Yes.
input from the,
There's
for the
more-
public purpose.
I think it was 167.
Right, he was talking about there was going to be a public hearing and he wanted
Mhm.
some of our members to be
To,
there.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, we can see it, you know, what's going on in Searsburg now, or Wilmington. I mean, that, you know, the Act, Public Service Board put that through pretty quickly, and there's been a lot of protest over it. And today they started
They're
the
blasting.
blasting for it, and people are up in arms about that. So, so it's timely, isn't it? It's timely as we talk about the citing of this in our town plan, that as we go forward, hopefully that's in harmony with what the state has in mind. I like the fact that we're in the game earlier on those things, rather than
Trying to come
maybe
in.
we'll listen to you, maybe we won't. Now they have to give us.
Right. Well, I think that was his point with talking about the public hearings, was we need to stay abreast of what's happening so that our town plan is not in conflict with the
Absolutely.
state.
Absolutely. So maybe that needs to be tweaked before we go to press on it. You know, another thing is that this is the importance of that energy coordinator that we put in there, the vision to have an energy coordinator, to figure out what's going on at the state level. I think is the biggest benefit of that. To have that coordinator keep us up to date on those little things that might now be in conflict with part of our town plan or a bylaw or something. I think that's huge. I don't know who that person's going to be, but, you know, we've got to get the overall town plan done first and then try and fill those gaps, you know? And that's a big part of the intro section we're working on is, you know, how do you take it from your vision to reality after that? You know, how do you work with your select board to get the select board to move on certain things? You know, building inspectors and business permits and all the things we're talking about.
By the time we get there, there may be a whole new board.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then it'll be Montpelier.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, the meeting was public the other night, of course, that I was at, and they went into executive session, I believe, about the town manager, town administrator. Maybe it wasn't that. Maybe that wasn't part of the name. I can't remember, but you can see they're kicking that around, and that, and it's not like any one of them are saying, nope. You know, I didn't hear any of that. I heard we got to figure out how to pay for it if the town wants it and things like
It's a
that.
petition and it's supposed to go on the ballot.
Exactly, and they were wondering how exactly to get that on, the timeliness of it, and
Is it going to be on the November 8th?
I think it was supposed to, but I think it's on the March ballot. Going to be on the
I
March
was going to
ballot.
say our ballots are already printed.
Well,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think they mentioned that,
So-
and
At town meeting, they suggested that it could be on this one. But evidently, it's going to go to the March.
Okay.
but they're talking about it. So
Yeah,
that's
there's a lot
just the
to talk about.
dialogue that you need, and it was good for me to be there to hear that and to have some input on that. You know, and the same will be true. I think we just don't write this thing and just say, okay, our work here is done. You know, let's move on. I mean, certainly we have to move on to the changing of the appropriate bylaws that this impacts, but we've got to, you know, these just can't be hollow words. We've got to work hard to get a lot of these things to come true over that period of time, right?
Agreed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've had some close calls.
Yeah, and that's why what did Bill Bozzo had a great, when he wanted to take, which commission was that? Put them in charge of certain things?
The conservation.
Conservation, and change their direction a little bit. And put them in charge of getting the
Bike
rights
path.
of way for the bike
Yeah.
path and things like that. And then even maintaining it, you know. There's got to be best practices on all of those things in other communities around here that they can help us out on. So just to give you an update, I have a basic outline. I will get everybody an actual outline to look at the intro section next time, Rick, I know you and I discussed this, but it's been a month. Intro section? Or back into,
Let me see.
where
I don't think
are we
so.
putting the scenic bike and walking routes? It's a goal.
Right, but I don't think it's-
I want to mention it,
Right.
possibly in the intro section, but
That's what you were
I
just saying
believe,
about
and
consent.
Sid, you can tell me if I
It's
remember
true.
correctly, what Mike was saying,
Yeah.
Mike Baxter was saying,
Here, I have
is
one
that the
second.
goals
Excuse
will all
me,
be.
I'll listen in a second, I just wanted, that
The
was,
exact one, sorry.
sorry, Rick, go ahead.
Did he indicate that the goals should all be in one section, rather than goals in different places? Is that right?
I think he's going to have chapter goals and then overall goals.
So specific goals and then a list of, a
think so.
composite list?
I
yeah.
think so.
I think that's
Okay.
what they want in the intro.
The goals? Oh, okay.
Not according to your book. Your book is obsolete pretty much. We aren't
Bible is
looking at your
absolute.
Bible anymore.
My Bible is
Yes.
January of 16, they better not have
Doesn't-
changed it.
Your book is outdated.
Your Bible.
Toots. Your Bible, sorry.
That's sacrilegious to say the Bible's outdated.
Hey, you're talking about me.
January 2016, how can it be?
Yes, but remember, I brought that up, and that's how we did our sections.
Number one is a statement of objectives. This is gonna be, they're not gonna change number one here.
But he said that our book, listen, he said that book right there has not everything that we need in our book.
Does not have everything that we
Right,
need.
because I said, this is what Mike swears by, is this book
Right.
that you had us go through each
The one that
section.
Richard Amore brought us
And
from
when
the
we
state.
gave him the draft copy, because I gave him the draft, emailed it all and whatnot, and he said it was gonna be looked all over as a whole view.
Well, that's the way to
in-
do it. I never said that
Not-
we just have to go boom, boom, boom. These are
Right, but
guidelines.
there's
Right.
But there are
more.
12 sections that the state says, better have them.
Right. And they just had a little bit different layout, which I think is on the second page of that.
Than your
Of this
Bible.
piece,
Yes.
Oh, here.
you know. So, do you see the way that it's?
Oh, starting with the intro.
Right.
With extended executive summary.
Right.
Okay, that was the only reason I brought
Bibliography and
this.
glossary.
The only,
No, it starts with the cover
stop
page.
using those big words, would you?
Right.
Like gymnasium and things like that.
Right.
Starts at the cover page technically. I'm sorry, you're
The
right.
Bible.
They have changed it. Thank you though. I mean, I know that there are things, you can see things when you look at other town plans that you wouldn't find in any of those 12 things, but that they felt it important to have in their vision, those sections. And I think it's really up to us.
Right.
I mean, I want to address everything that's important to this planning commission and the people in Pownal, but I don't want to give them any more than that.
Right.
You know?
But it was nice to see the different way that he outlined it, because one thing that popped out at me was early childhood education or early childhood care. And I realized that we didn't have anything in here about Oak Hill.
Childcare.
Um,
That's in our
And-
old town plan. Is it? Okay.
is it? I don't know. I just haven't seen it in this town plan.
Yeah, it was only
I think it was
Yeah.
a
very
very
little.
cursory one.
Yeah. So anyway, I called Karen Galise, who's the new director. I'm going to meet her tomorrow to find out more about, because they're actually doing some really awesome stuff. They're applying for this Community Promise grant, and one of the things that they want to do is get a food truck that they can take into the neighborhoods and give kids like free healthy meals.
Wow, cool.
And I think that is
What a great idea.
awesome.
Yeah.
Karen's got a lot
Yeah.
of
Healthy
background.
meals.
And
You know
Healthy
Karen
meals.
well? She's got a lot of background.
I just have met her a few
Karen's
times.
terrific.
Yeah,
I've
she's
known
really
her-
great.
I haven't seen her in years, but I've known her for years.
Yeah.
Grew up in North Adams and
Right. I
Tell
met
her- tell her
her
hello.
in Clarksburg years ago because she used to be the principal there.
right.
But anyway, so I'll have her write something up and we can put it. I think we should include something.
Put it in the section for under community services, which
I
is
don't-
like facilities and
I don't see anything under community facilities, services, and utilities in the present town plan.
Right.
For
Nothing about-
childcare or early
Yeah.
education.
nothing about even under schools and things like that. There's nothing about Oak Hill.
No, we just mentioned Oak Hill.
I don't think so. I don't ever remember.
Well, it doesn't matter. Well, we need to get it in there. I mean, they've been a mainstay here for a long time through good times and bad times and hard times. So, you know, obviously that I'm glad that you caught that, Shannon. And we have time to to change that.
So Mike, in answer to your initial question about goals and whether we should put the scenic bike and walking, this paragraph explains it all, it's lengthy. I don't know that it should be in the introduction, it could be mentioned.
I would highlight just parts of it
Right,
in
right.
the intro.
It should be mentioned along with other goals, I
Right.
suppose, and then gone into depth during the
Recreation.
appropriate chapter.
Recreation. for
Possibly
instance, or-
recreation. Yeah.
The only mention in the present town plan of Oak Hill School is Pownal School District owns one property, Oak Hill School used as a private daycare center.
Okay.
That's what it says.
Yeah.
It's pretty informative.
Disparage our forefathers on this.
And then
They
it's
worked
on
hard.
page 37 too.
Also, it's on page 37. What do they say on page 37?
It just that it owns the school.
Oh, what's
Yeah,
it?
just a a little description of it and what their goals are would be great.
Yeah. Can't agree more. Are we? So you'll put something together after your meeting.
Yeah, I'll
Karen,
ask her to just. I just wanted to go find out more about what she's
Perfect.
doing, and I'll ask her to
Yeah.
write up a little summary. Or
That would be great. Are we to be going over the education section this evening? This copy that was put in there, is that why?
That's the one Sid worked
That's
on.
the one I worked on, but I gave it to Mike Batcher, and he immediately trashed it by saying, your educational section starts like every other section with Pownal is geographically located in the southwest corner of Vermont. So I took him at his word.
Did you tell him you thought this was going to be the only section of the comp plan?
No, and I told him to get to work on it.
Yeah, that's right. What do we hire you for?
Have no compunctions. Get right to it.
Yeah,
So then that's the answer to that.
Literal.
Get back to us.
he's going to get back to it. So,
He's supposed to come
You
down
made-
to our November meeting.
Made it come true for us.
so as we
He's
look
coming
at
down November 15th.
right, yeah, I saw that, and that's great. So as you look over the way that they suggest putting this thing together, the organization of
This
it,
is
and,
not my
and, you,
revision.
and you look at each section, what else do we need to do? What information do we need to get to Mike and the BCRC? What have we overlooked aside from childcare, which we now are going to rectify? We've talked about water supply and wastewater collection, emergency services and public safety. We've pretty much covered all of that, haven't we? We talked about natural resources. We have a whole section on flood resilience, land use, recreation, energy. It has a whole section to it.
I think we should wait for Mike's crew to go through this
Okay.
and then to get back to us and say, here are the gaps that need to be filled in.
Clearly, we know we need the introduction, so I can continue to work on that. I wouldn't. You want me to hold off on
No,
that?
I didn't know you were.
I was working
Oh, good.
for like a year.
You start at the,
Oh, you
at
you
the,
knew it once and
at
forgot.
the beginning. God
It created
Created-
Pownal,
Created the Bible.
in
geographically
the
beautiful.
southwest corner of the state.
Well,
How did you took the words right out of my mouth?
Place to do it. Maybe the only
You,
appropriate place.
you took the words right out of my mouth. I love it. In the beginning.
I will say, I think one of the things that they are not working on, and that we have talked about many times, is this town designation,
Village
designation.
Jesus.
Well, I think they want us to have it, and they want it referenced in the town plan, but I don't think that's their charge right now. Is to
No,
Wrong with
but it
that.
remains ours.
So, do we shift our focus now in our work sessions to
I think yes.
getting that application ready and crossing the T's, dotting the I's, putting the pictures
I
together?
think yes.
Okay, that's fine with me. I don't think we need a motion for that. I think when we meet in early November.
No, we already talked about that. Do you still have the application that you was gonna review?
I don't,
Mine.
or if I do, I don't know what I did with it. But that would be,
I think
that
I have
would-
copies of it.
that wouldn't be anything.
Now, Richard Moore brought it down. It may be outdated by now. They brought it out
It
in
still
March.
says in 2016.
Look right on the back. It says bicycle pedestrian lanes.
A grant. Right in the back.
Yeah, it's a good
I did
stuff.
take pictures and I wrote on our maps where, oh, here's the application guideline.
Can
Maybe-
I look at it too? Thanks.
I don't know what I did with mine,
Hang on. They got it.
but I bet I can find this online, right?
Well, you can.
Oh, I'm sure. There's our downtown tax credit.
I sent mine to the North Pownal store.
There's the funding directory, the village destination. There's the module for funeral kit. Or is that the same one? Could be possible.
Is that the same?
Oh, I gotta go through
Oh,
this stuff.
this is
Right?
it.
We kind of, if you're like me, you carry it from meeting to meeting.
Yeah, and it
I have
multiplies.
whole backseat of my car
It would
dedicated to
roll
Pownal
away.
Planning Commission. I can't even take my dogs for a ride anymore.
And the gas
funny.
for the weight.
That's right. That's right. It's like carrying bags of salt around.
Want one or both?
I want one.
It gives good traction in the wintertime.
That's right. I'm gonna give this back to you.
Okay.
I would not hesitate in any time to call Richard or Anina Seiler, I believe her name is pronounced. He obviously, I don't know if you were here the night. He
I
did
was.
a terrific job.
I was.
I thought. Yeah, that's right. That's really what spurred your interest. I remember. But there's gold in those designations for our small businesses and for business development. There's no doubt, and for all kinds of development, safety and sidewalks and recreation and things. And we need to take advantage of it, but not just put it like the town plan, not just put it in place like we've done in the past and kind of walk away from it. You know, we need somebody who can really sink their teeth into it and be available to explain it to people that would like to expand their businesses or set up business here. So there has to be a village designation coordinator along with the energy coordinator. I think it'd be important.
I sent mine down to the North Pownal store. They're fixing it up.
You send this down, the applications or the guidelines and everything.
A couple guys
But
in
we,
there.
but we
working.
need the designation first before.
Right, well, I didn't get any spin back though. It was like,
Oh, I think they've got to take advantage. I'll tell you what, though, as this moves along, I'd be happy. You know them pretty well, Jim?
sure.
I'd be more than happy to go down and talk to them. You know, maybe we both could and let them know.
Her kid's
That's some of the
34 years
first of
old.
these
I remember when
things.
she was pregnant.
You remember what?
I used to give her oranges when she was pregnant.
Oh.
Time flies.
Okay, so I'll continue to outline the intro according to his guidelines and try and get that ready for the next meeting, and then
I promise I will read this
and yeah, just to
and
give some
become
guidance.
conversant.
Well, just to give some guidance as to how we coordinate that.
In reference to their outline, one thing that I'm not certain about is subcategories under all these larger headings. So in other words, when you look at recreation, for instance, what goes under there? I mean, you mentioned the scenic bike and walking routes. Is that recreation? Is that transportation?
Yeah.
Is that, you know,
Economic development.
and then the whole arts and cultural resources chapter that we put together, where would that fit in? Is that recreation? Is that economics?
Or both.
Or both.
Referenced in both, but detailed in one. See section
Yeah.
Could be just
Four
like that. Yeah,
articles.
because it has
Five.
multiple applications.
I think there's a lot of discretion here as to the subcategories under recreation. I think they just,
Right.
I think under community services, they're just giving you just a raft of examples. Under recreation, some towns may have one ball field and nothing else. So, you
Or
know.
no aspirations for
Right, exactly. Obviously, energy is a whole major, one of the
Yeah.
4 or 5 major sections that has a lot of subtext to it. So, yeah, I don't think that's, because it doesn't have bullets under it, doesn't mean that it can't.
Should we interface with what bullets we think should be there, or just leave it up to them and then modify it if necessary?
Well, we wrote it and approved it, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
So let them look it over and say,
Okay.
hey,
Right.
we need some bullets, or you got too many bullets, or,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, that's the role that I see them playing, thank goodness. Okay. Is there anything else we want to cover tonight? Since we're
I
all
had already
gathered?
emailed Mike the table of contents, the graphs that Bonnie had worked on that needed updating because they weren't correct when I pointed them out to our auditor, and he recorrected them,
Okay.
and I already sent them up. Our acknowledgements I sent up to them, and the rescue squad. I had
Okay.
sent out to the water departments again, and the fire departments and the historic side
Okay.
for feedback for our service.
Do you know if he has the Arts and Cultural Resource chapter and the Scenic Bikes?
Our
Scenic,
arts and culture we already added in your draft.
Right,
It's
okay.
that
So you would
is
have
hold on. We put
Did
it
you
in a
pass this?
section. Hold on.
Oh, this is the,
Yeah,
yeah, this is the one that Rick wrote a couple of weeks ago. After
No,
our
I
meeting
don't.
and-
I was gonna say I didn't do that one because we were gonna look at it and we didn't. We were all gonna look at it and then go from there. So we didn't say anything about this one. I can send it to him if you like.
Well, yeah, I would, and look for his guidance on
do we
where
want,
does it go?
do we want it, to look at it as a, commission first, or is that not necessary? Doesn't matter to me.
Wait, you sent it to all of us, didn't you, or just to me?
I thought I just sent it to you, for
Okay.
your, okay, then to send it out.
Wait, is that the one that's in?
Oh,
I might have sent it to both of you.
I'm gonna say if I'm not 1 second.
I don't think we need to approve it to send it up to him. I mean, I read it, and I thought, that's exactly what we had talked about, and those were our thoughts that night. It's just, and it's articulated well,
It's not
let's,
in this one. I
we're
thought
kind
we
of looking
had-
for his guidance as to where,
Oh, is that this? Can I see that for 1 second?
Yeah.
Julie, to
got
incorporate
my
that,
notes on
what
it.
section?
Yeah, this is the one that we were all to look at.
Yeah.
So we didn't
Yeah,
send
and-
this.
a meeting you weren't at, we had copies. I probably made
Right.
copies.
Okay,
Julie
Less
made
had
copies.
Rackenow,
Okay.
right?
I know.
I think it's
Thanks.
recreation, but I think within recreation, there should be a statement about how recreation is an engine for economic development in our town.
We,
You know, when there's a crossover between the two.
our arts and cultural resources are in our 6.6 economic development section. So that's already
Right.
in there and he already has that.
I'm talking about.
No,
the
but I'm
bike
just saying prior to, but the
Right.
bike one I did not send,
But
give to
recreation
him.
should stand alone, but a reference to the economic development
Yeah.
section as well, and the impact that it has.
For instance, a ball field or something is not, is under recreation is appropriate, but it might not have an economic tie.
Like a bikeway, like
Right.
bikeways.
Like other things might.
Right.
The
With
fishing on the Hoosick
recreation,
River, the guides on the
activities and
river,
tourism.
things like that.
Yeah,
mean,
and I
it's
just mean
good.
in the kind of in a broad stroke, like that's one of the big reasons that people come to Pownal. You know, is because of the beauty and the recreational opportunities. So,
And there could be more of those.
Yep.
Hopefully will be.
Recreational activities and tourism.
I mean, other than that, I don't think there's any big surprises here.
6.3.
I had it at 6.3, Julie, initially.
Yeah, but- No, I think if you go in your draft, I think it's page 27. We did recreation, activities, and tourism. That talks about the Route 7 corridor and stuff. And we talked about the outdoors with the bicycles and I think it's on page 27 in your draft. 6.3.3, recreational activities and tourism. Is that what we had already done? But I can send this to him also, and he can figure out where they're gonna put it.
That's all we're looking for, is, you know, we think it, as Shannon said, we think it should be in recreation with a reference to the economic development, but they might suggest it be in a whole different area.
Right.
I can't see that, but. Okay.
No, that's it.
Anything else on their outline that we need to discuss before next meeting?
Recreation.
There was a section in here, the antiquated Bible, that I didn't like, and that's how an entire section devoted to the impact on surrounding towns and municipalities.
We asked Mike about that.
And he said, scratch that one? Or?
No. He said, we can help you with that.
Yep.
Excellent. Because obviously, if there are energy endeavors and things, it could impact. And there's a lot of things that could obviously impact bike paths and routes. And things like
Paychecks.
that.
Wait, I
Yeah,
just have a
Knowing where
question.
paychecks come from.
that's right.
They come.
Is this supposed to be BCRC and our scenic bite thing? It says according to the, you have BRC.
No,
It's the Berkshire.
Okay,
Berkshire Regional Planning?
Yes, yes.
okay.
It's
I just wanna,
Berkshire County's
Berkshire.
version of BCRC.
Berkshire Regional Plan.
Berkshire Regional Planning Commission.
Where is that
Well, I just
based?
wanna make sure
Where-
that they get
I don't know,
credit.
Sid, where's that based?
They're Pittsfield.
In Pittsfield, on
Pittsfield.
Fenn Street.
Main Street.
Commissioner, okay. Well, I'm just checking, cause I get credit.
Okay.
Anything else, Mr. Chairman?
What was that great record shop that was on 10th Street for years? Remember First and Penn, right on the corner there? No, remember that?
No.
Come on, you're a music fan.
No.
Water Street.
I don't see anything else at this time. We'll talk about the village designation next time. We'll have some intro language in those two sections that you referenced, the intro and the vision and goals. We have to acknowledge a few people like Landworks and BCRC and the Select Board for its help, and we're off and running, I think.
Move we
It's in
adjourn.
there.
We have a motion to adjourn. A second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.